Dallas Cowboys, thank you, no thank you notes. Can I just put out one that I don't think is a fair no thank you?
Okay.
Shoddy getting ripped by some on social media for CeeDee Lamb running the ball. This is like literally been something they have done for years, occasionally. It sucks that he got hurt, but I don't have a big issue with that.
Okay.
Maybe you do. I don't know.
I don't either.
Okay.
It's been successful before. You've gotten good plays out of it before. He's pretty, like, aside from his shoulder injury last year, he's been pretty healthy.
Right.
The way that happened was bad.
Yes.
That was like watching the playback. I was like, did he leg whip him? That was my first thought. But the way that it happened was bad. But you've done this before. It's part of the game plan. They know it's going to happen. He could get hurt on any play.
Yeah.
He is not just a wide receiver for this team either. He is used in a lot of different areas. So that doesn't have anything. That's not a problem for me at all.
So I think there are a lot of
that happened though.
Yes, there are a lot of other issues yesterday, and let's go with the George Pickens drop that led to an interception on a day that you did not need to help the Bears in getting turnovers. You just gave that one to him, and Steven goes, "Hey, we knew George is an emotional guy." I don't have an issue with that play. I'm sure some people will, but I also never had an issue with Dez when he was upset specifically about something like he was involved in that didn't go right. Now, like being upset with not getting your number called is a different deal than, damn it, my number was called and it didn't work the way it was. I have no issue with that level of passion, but I do have issue, obviously, with George Pickens leading directly to an interception on a day when you did not need to help them anymore. No thank you note also to Damone Clark for getting absolutely chomped out on a play by DeAndre Swift.
Did you see Ryan Floyd catch that one on the sideline, though?
I did.
Dak
yes.
Right to him. That was pretty awesome.
Yes, I did. I mean, but he was on the sideline. But yes, you're right. But yeah, there was one particular play, and in the grand scheme, you might be like, who cares? But Damone Clark just got embarrassed by DeAndre Swift.
I want to discuss the Pickens thing with you a little more.
Let's do it.
I hope it's not disingenuous.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like people act out because they've made a mistake and they want to show everybody that how upset they are about the mistake they've made.
Okay.
But they don't fix the mistake. And that's what I'm hoping is that like he's like, you know what? I'm not letting that happen again, kind of thing.
Okay.
That's the only reason where I'm just like, okay, was that demonstrative for me? Or was that demonstrative because that's who you are? And I don't know him well enough yet. So I'll learn the player and hopefully he's doing that because that is who he is. That is what he wants.
I'll give him the benefit of the
sense?
doubt, but I can understand there might be Steelers fans out there who are like, you shouldn't, but I will for now.
Kevin, I have a no thank you note for for Dak's interceptions.
Oh, okay.
Here's why. And I know we can blame, the fourth down interception. He had to throw it somewhere, right? Like that was in the end zone. You have to throw the ball, and then Tremaine Edmonds gets an interception. At the moment, there are a handful of quarterbacks, over 10 quarterbacks with at least 3 interceptions this year. Do you want to hear their names?
Yes.
Jake Browning has 5. Is he good?
No.
Joe Flacco has 4. Is he good?
Oh, man. I mean, I got an upcoming overreaction that hasn't benched, so I guess I have to say no.
Tua has 4. Is he good?
Oh, man, no.
Trevor Lawrence has 4. What do you think about Trevor Lawrence? Are you glad that I sold that card?
Oh, I'm glad for you.
Geno Smith has 4.
I thought Geno Smith was going to be better this year.
He good?
Okay. He's fine.
Okay.
I'll put him and Trevor Lawrence, and they're fine.
Aaron Rodgers has 3. Russell Wilson has 3.
Ooh.
J.J. McCarthy, Bryce Young have 3. C.J. Stroud and Bo Nix also have 3, and so does Dak.
Ooh.
And again, I know one of them bounced off his receiver's hands, and it's very early in the season, and maybe Dak doesn't throw another freaking interception for the rest of the year. I doubt it, just because of the nature of the sport. But that's not the company I want Dak to be associated with. And I know this offense did not look good yesterday. It just didn't function the way that we need it to function if your defense is going to be what your defense is right now. Your offense has to be a well-oiled machine. And that's just not the company that I want him to be in, if that's a fair thing.
No, I get it. That is that is an unfortunate grouping to be in.
And when it comes to the touchdown numbers, like, they don't match up either compared to the other really good quarterbacks.
Right.
That like Baker Mayfield has 6 right now. This offense has to be so much more, and it's a bad thing to have to put on the offense, and Dak's going to carry it all because he's the quarterback, he's the $60 million man, he's all these things. But this offense has to be the thing that carries until the defense turns over.
Yeah.
So that's just where we are at the moment.
Yeah. No thank you note to, look, it's one specific play. You could go across. But the 3 missed tackles on one play in the third quarter, the play in question led to Kenny Clark being down for a minute, at which point I was like, oh dear God, no.
Yeah.
Although this is a bizarre thank you note, because also thank you to the Bears, I guess, kind of for running that play since it lost 8 yards. But that was part of the 19-play longest drive in the NFL this season. Marched down the field, took about 10 minutes, 19 plays, and that play right there encompassed a lot of what was problematic during the day. I know it was a big loss, but the fact that you missed so many tackles on that play was freaking infuriating.
I saw this from Joseph Hoyt, Kevin.
I know him.
No thank yous to pressure.
For sure.
Cowboys had 0 quarterback hits in that first half, he said. But then he also added this. Braxton Jones became the 4th left tackle this year to not allow a single pressure in a game. In weeks 1 through 2, he allowed a team-high 12 pressures on 79 blocking attempts. And he did not allow 1 versus the Cowboys. And that right there is a we've discussed this at length. The Cowboys said we feel good about our depth at defensive end.
Yeah.
Do we think that our depth is as high end as Micah? The answer would probably always be no.
Correct.
And I don't think that I don't think they acted like that was a reality. But they said we feel good about our depth. Right now, the depth is proving that's part of the execution detriment on this team. Not only is the secondary not playing well, but the lack of pressure on the quarterback is creating too many opportunities to just say, I'm comfortable in the pocket and I can deliver passes easy.
Yeah, and you need one. Well, let's focus on 3 areas. I felt like none of them were working yesterday, but that has been a theory these last 2 games. All right, so let's take a look at the front level of the defense. Are you getting pressure on the quarterback? Nope. You look at the middle level of the defense, although this permeates throughout the defense. Are you making the tackle, wrapping up? Not really. Third level of the defense, are you covering? 7 of Caleb Williams' 8 receivers yesterday had an average separation of more than 3 yards.
That's a lot.
Yes.
That is a lot.
For an NFL receiver. So, like, stack a person and a half up, give or take. That's how big that separation was. For 7 of his 8 receivers that he threw the ball yesterday. That is staggering. So the coverage is subpar. The tackling is probably subpar. I don't think it's as bad as the other 2 areas. And right now, winning the line of scrimmage and getting pressure is subpar. Well, guess what? I don't care what personnel you have out there. If your pass rush isn't effective and your pass defense in terms of your secondary isn't effective, well, guess what? You're going to have massive amounts of points put up on you.
Yeah, and you don't want massive amounts of points put up on you.
You do not. Unless
you can score massive amounts of points.
But you can't. You can get massive amounts of field goals, which I guess is one of my few thank you notes.
Thank you,
Brandon Aubrey. To Brandon Aubrey for still being awesome and still being automatic. I did want to throw out, because I thought there were plenty of tough spots for him in this game. I will throw out a thank you note to Donovan Wilson for hitting a Dunze on a touchdown pass, especially when Caleb Williams threw a pass so bad that they had to show the replay like 3 times because it was positive, it was deflected, because it looked like a pass I would throw into the end zone. And so I appreciate him staying on it. Now, it didn't actually end up making a difference, but in that moment, I was proud of it.
I'll say thank you to Jake Ferguson. 13 catches on 14 targets.
Yeah.
That showed some focus. He looked exhausted. at one point for sure. Like, he was just
Well, yeah,
done.
and the announcers were like, oh, keep him out there. He's got 13 catches.
Of course. I also like to thank Joe Milton, Kevin, because I had given up on this game. And then when he stepped onto the field and threw his first pass, I was like, okay, let's get excited for a few seconds. I literally, seriously, I was done with the game completely with 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and Joe Milton stepped on the field. So thanks for bringing me back into interest level for just a second.
Yeah. No, look, by the way, no thank you note to Tom Brady. And this is not a general. This is very specific. In the broadcast early on, they were talking about that offensive line. He goes, oh, yeah, this offensive line's really coming together. And I was like, whoa, what is that based on? Because I heard all the staggering stats from Cory this past week. I saw that game, or I guess a lot of the first 2 games. What part of that has led him to believe that the offensive line is really coming together, or did he feel like he just needed to fill the dead air with something that people say?
I think there are. You know how you feel like the defense, you don't get any flashes of good right now? Like, that's the feeling. With the Cowboys offensive line, I feel like I see a flash here and there, and there will be a flash of the complete offensive line, and you're like, wow, that was good. And last year it was always like one person was always falling apart. I'm seeing a little more consistency than I expected, and especially with a replacement center right now. But it's not where it needs to be. I think it's coming together a little more in the running game, because what they averaged 6.1 rushing yards per run.
Hey,
Chicago averaged 3, so the Cowboys are stopping the run. Just
look,
saying.
man.
But it's the Kevin yards per pass. Cowboys 5.9. Chicago 10.6.
5.9 is an abysmal number as well.
So I do think I agree with Brady on, I'm seeing more consistency and more flashes of good than the outstanding amount of bad that I'm seeing on the defensive side of the ball.
Now, I appreciate what we're saying about the Cowboys' run defense. I talked about that in 2 more competitive games. I thought their run defense looked great. But you're going to end up having a run defense that you're like, oh, man, their run defense is really good. And you're like, yeah, because they're just going to pass the ball all the time, because you can't stop Jack S when it comes to passing. So that's going to be great. You're going to see most teams, you're going to be like, oh, the Cowboys are giving up a NFL low 60 yards rushing and 3.5 yards a carry. And I'm going to be like, hell yeah. And then you're going to look at the other side and be like, oh yeah, that's right. Because they're nonstop passing, because either we don't have the right personnel for the zone, the communication is not correct in the zone, or it comes down to execution. You can pick any one of those. That feels hollow to me. I cared about it more in the Eagles game, but now that feels hollow.
I really appreciated when I tweeted yesterday at 4:52 in the afternoon. They are stopping the run, though. That there was the proper amount of sarcastic responses.
Sure.
Of like people understanding what I meant by we are stopping the run, though. It doesn't mean that I think that the Cowboys are great at stopping the run.
Right.
But for as bad as it was giving up those offensive plays,
yeah,
they were kind of stopping the run. And that's kind of how I felt. Like exactly the way I just said it, Kevin.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that's how it felt.
Yeah. I mean, look, it feels...
And then the response, like I said, the responses on Twitter, very sarcastic, and I liked it.
Which it feels like what the Cowboys might do, or what you're doing in a sarcastic way, is you're doing the distractionary tactic as a magician.
Yes.
So like, I'm not supposed to think there's 2 people in those boxes, but in one of the boxes is Caleb Williams throwing for a career high 239 passing yards in the first half alone. And in the other box is Caleb Williams tying a career high with 4 touchdown passes, but you just threw that smoke bomb down, and that's what I'm paying attention to instead.
I mean, think about this for a second. This was the first time Caleb Williams had not been sacked.
That is also bad.
Not for him.
You know what? That is a good point. You know what? We did this all wrong. We should have had all Chicago players and fans writing in thank you notes to us for things that the Cowboys could not do appropriately yesterday.